The Rimini Riddle. The Rimini Riddle was an Irish puppet TV series that first aired as public access, and was then picked up by the island broadcasting networks RTA and Network 2, from September 26, 1992 to March 1995. It had been a part of a television block named Saturday Club, and aired for 3 seasons. It's not exactly known what the premise of the Rimini Riddle is. Descriptions of the show have varied across many users online. The main idea is that it's about 3 orphans who go by Rory, Leo, and Alan, who live inside a guest house with their Aunt Vera, known as the Rimini Guest House. The series had apparently revolved around a mystery contained inside the Rimini household. The mystery is related to the 2 girls that are depicted in a picture owned by Aunt Vera, who was said to have drowned many years ago. There is as well a plush otter doll named Otto, who is owned by Leo and is apparently said to be evil, and also may be involved with the fate of the girls in the picture. The search for this show has gone on for a long time, with searches dating back to 2008. Over the years, small different pieces of footage have resurfaced and been found. We have obtained a partial episode, a small clip of a Valentine's special, another small clip of an unknown episode uploaded by the puppeteer, an advertisement for a stage show which includes footage from the show's intro, and a clip from the Irish comedy panel series Don't Feed the Gondolas, that features footage from the series. In 2019, a Facebook user had posted a programming report from RTA Online that would feature air dates and descriptions for 26 episodes. Augie and the Cockroaches Game Boy Advance. Augie and the Cockroaches is a French comedy animated TV series which follows the lazy cat Augie and 3 tiny cockroaches. These 3 cockroaches are his flatmates, and enjoy attacking Augie's refrigerator and creating chaos, ruining his peace. It's a show I used to watch all the time when I was little, and I'm sure a lot of you did as well too. In 2004, an Augie and the Cockroaches game was planned to be released for the Game Boy Advanced, which would have been published by Tally Games and co-developed by Xilum. This was however cancelled after the Nintendo DS hardware was released. In this game you would have played as Augie, with your goal being to catch the cockroaches at the end of the 14 levels that the game was planning to offer. It was a simple platformer which had various obstacles and enemies with different types of behaviour. As of now, only a handful of screenshots and some gameplay footage has resurfaced. There is currently no way to play the game. Everyone knows that. This is a very mysterious song with its origin being unknown. The song was first posted to What's That Song in 2021 by a user who goes by Karl92. Karl had stated that he discovered this song between a bunch of very old files in a DVD backup, while learning how to capture audio from his PC. This is the strange and mysterious song that he found. No one can find this track anywhere. The origins are pretty much entirely unknown. A user named Niski had gone on to say, "This is not from a cassette, definitely a recording off TV, not a VHS or anything playing in an NTSC country, as it contains a 15.734 kHz pilot tone only present in MTS broadcasts exclusive to a selected few countries, confirming the recording captured by a computer microphone, likely from television material or advertising commercial." OP had also said that the file of this track is dated to 1999, leaving many to theorize that the song was created around this time. Hopefully the full version of this song is found one day. Nickelodeon Splat. This was a game show which aired in the summer of 2004 on Nickelodeon and had aired live as a programming block between different shows. In this game show, the contestants would be divided into colours based on their months of birth, which would consist of the green team, the yellow team, and the red team. Contestants in this game would perform a variety of funny tasks in order to win prizes. An unknown prize was won at the end of the series as the yellow team held the series winning score. The audience was as well included within the show, as the winning team and their captain during the end of each episode would slime specific areas of seeding. Nickelodeon Splat ran from July 5th, 2004 to October 1st, 2004. The game show has become notable for being the last program to be taped and filmed at the Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida, months before its closure on April 30th, 2005. At the moment, out of the 64 episodes which had aired, a couple clips, some promos, and only 2 episodes in full have resurfaced. Windows XP Famicom. This is a bootleg Famicom game which is thought to be released all the way back in 2003. The game replicates the Windows XP operating system as best as it can for the 8-bit console. This game was one of the several bootleg Famicom or NES games that had been released in the early 2000s. Other bootleg games have replicated Windows 98 and Windows 2000. The game has not been dumped onto the internet, unlike the 98 and 2000 version, and only a few different images of this game have appeared onto the internet. Based on the BIOS screen, which can be seen in one of the images, the game was likely created in 2003. In October 2013, a copy of this mysterious game was sold on eBay for $89 after 11 different bids were made, with its location originally being in Bangkok, Thailand. This sold copy on eBay has given many people hope that this game will one day publicly resurface. Maybe there are more copies of this game out in the public, waiting to be found. Station Zero. Station Zero is an American animated TV series which aired on MTV for a single season during 1999 at 6:30 p.m. The show was about a group of teens who ran a fictional public access TV show called Live from the Bronx, in which they would watch different hip-hop videos and critique them. The show was based on A View from the Underground, which is a comic strip from the same team which ran in the source from 1991 to 1994. In the UK, the show had aired on MTV Base in 1999, which would make this one of the first shows to air on the newly created network. Station Zero would be cancelled after just one season which contained 20 episodes. As of today, a majority of these episodes have disappeared and have become lost. Only the first 3 episodes have been fully found. Pinky Dinky Doo Pilot. Pinky Dinky Doo is an animated children's show that was created by Jim Jenkins and produced by Sesame Workshop. The show follows the character Pinky, who has a wild imagination. Pinky's crazy imagination creates stories to help her younger brother Tyler solve his problems, and her antics encourage young viewers to make up their own stories and use their imaginations. It was a popular show that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Before the show was premiered in 2005, 2 11-minute pilot episodes had been developed around 3 years prior back in 2002. As opposed to the final series, the pilot had a much rougher animation style, and used hand-drawn crayon artwork that had been scanned into the computer frame by frame. The first pilot episode followed a storyline which involved Pinky Dinky Doo losing her shoes, with this plot later being reworked into the actual main series. The plot of the second pilot is unknown. This pilot is partially found, as we have a 32-second clip of the first pilot. The pilot episode was discovered on Vimeo. It had been uploaded by animator Douglas Allen on May 24th, 2017. This pilot clip is the only portion of either episode that is currently available to the public. There have been theories that the pilots were once accessible on Sesame Workshop's website at some point in 2002, due to Kidscreen reporting that Pinky Dinky Doo started, quote, as a web series. Snappy Larry's Showtime. This was a British interstitial series that had aired on Nick Jr. during the mid-2000s. An American dub of this series as well aired on the US version of Nick Jr. The show revolves around Snappy Larry, who would throughout the series start the show by explaining the sing-along feature, and then introducing an animal who would then sing a nursery rhyme with sing-along lyrics at the bottom of the screen. Once the song is finished, Snappy Larry ends the show. The show has become extremely obscure and rare. The only things which exist of the show as of now include just one episode which was found in a YouTube video that showcased different adverts, and one small low quality clip. Nothing else other than these 2 things have resurfaced. Jump scare ad from the 2000s. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a post was created by a user discussing a very obscure jump scare ad they remember from their childhood. This is what the post had to say. Firstly, I have no freaking idea if this can even be found. It's so obscure. I often wonder if I and my mother are the only two people who have ever seen it. I also have no idea if it was local or national. I don't know if it was a legit ad or a hack of some sort, but this has haunted me for literal years. Whenever I see lost media content on the internet, I always come back to this scary commercial from my childhood. I don't remember what year it was, but when I was a kid, my mother and I were watching TV Land, which is a TV channel that plays reruns of really old shows. This was in Washington State for context. During an episode of the old show Green Acres, pretty sure this was the show, although I sometimes suspect Beverly Hillbillies as well. During a mostly normal commercial break, there was an ad that came on. It displayed scenery images like lakes, rivers, mountains, etc. I believe there were birds singing as well, and sound effects like the sound of water, just ambience mostly. But at the end, a woman popped up on the screen and, from my memory, her hair was standing on end like in a cartoon, and she let out this ear-piercing scream, and the ad ended and went back to normal commercials. There was never any context or explanation, and it never aired again. This was my first experience with a jump scare, and it was traumatizing. I have done pretty heavy research into it and dug as deeply as I feel possible. It wasn't that ad with the car that scared everyone else in the 2000s and is everywhere. That I'm sure of. The closest I've gotten to finding anything similar is when I discovered through a random YouTube video that the infamous car ad was actually for a coffee company from some country somewhere that has made similar ads to the car one. So I watched all of those ads, and the one I'm looking for was not there, but the vibe is similar. Seemingly innocent ad ends with scary jump scare. It would sound to anyone else I've simply got it confused with the car one or something else, but I know I haven't. The fact that it aired on TV Land of all channels. Of course, it couldn't air on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or all the channels everyone my age watched in the 2000s. Who else would be watching Green Acres reruns in the middle of the night? Thank God my mum was there and remembers it too, or I'd think I was crazy or I dreamt it. I guess my hope is that somehow it may have aired somewhere else, and that it was maybe recorded but never uploaded to the internet, or at the very least, someone else experienced this and can validate my memory further. I figured if anyone can find it or figure out what it was, it'd be someone on this forum. This sounds extremely interesting and fascinating. I learnt about this mysterious jump scare ad while watching an El Supersonic U livestream. He looked at this post during the livestream and has also since discussed it in a video. Hopefully by putting this piece of lost media in this list video, more awareness and eyes are put onto it. It's just so strange. Hopefully whatever this is gets found, as I'm very curious as to what this actually was. Jimmy Neutron Got a Blast Rocket Race. This was an online Nickelodeon racing web game that was released in 2002 and developed for the 3D Groove Game engine. In this game, players would be able to enter codes that were found on purchased Nickelodeon merchandise or Quaker Oats products into the game to unlock and collect parts. These parts would then be used to build rockets and race them on 4 different race courses with different Jimmy Neutron characters. Advertisements for this game would be placed on TV, and interestingly, several game sessions would be played over commercial breaks. In 2017, the game was found on a subdomain of Nick's website by user Kaj in the 3D Groove Grove Discord. The only race course that was in the game, however, was the Space Race course. All of the other courses remained lost. It is speculated and theorized that the found build of the game was meant for after the contest was over, and as a result had much of the content stripped and cut. This build of the game which has been found has been named and dubbed the non-promo version. When playing the non-promo version offline, you can't upgrade or save changes to your rocket, and the ability to look at flight records is disabled. The real promo version without the cut content still remains lost. Titch. Titch is a British stop-motion series created by the late Pat Hutchings and based on the books of the same name. The series involved the too young, too little title character enthusiastically attempting to help out or accompany his older siblings and parents, and generally failing. Comedic chaos would then follow. The show had a minimalistic approach taken, with simple set designs, small cast of puppets, and a lack of voice acting with only narration being done. The narration had been done by the late Peter Jones, who passed before production of the show was finished, leaving Paul Vaughn to take over his role for the remaining episodes. This show had 39 episodes produced by Hutchins Film Company, which aired from 1997 to 2001 on multiple different channels in the UK, most notably Channel 5 and CITV. Titch would later have reruns after its original run, being taken off air after 2006. A lot of episodes can be found through various sources. Recordings of the show can be discovered through YouTube, episodes exist on Hutchins' Vimeo page, and VHS and DVD releases of Titch have been created. However, there are still many episodes which haven't resurfaced. Many episodes still yet to be archived and found. Sunny Orange commercial. Sunny Orange was a Filipino concentrated juice drink produced by Food World Manufacturing from the 1970s to the late 1990s. A low-budget commercial for this juice drink was said to have been aired in the mid to late 70s. This commercial would showcase a montage of Sunny Orange bottles with different flavors and with the drink being poured to a spoon being mixed on a glass. The commercial also contained a jingle that is nowadays considered to be iconic. An audio recreation of this jingle had been uploaded to YouTube in 2014.
Zenny orange, I love you. Lemon, grape, and strawberry. Zenny orange, tasty drink. Zenny orange, super quality.
This commercial has been discussed in Filipino internet circles for decades. The commercial was as well interestingly mentioned on GMA News TV's show Ang Panaka, which had mentioned it on their classic commercial jingles. They too couldn't get a hold of the commercial. The Sunny Orange brand was eventually revived in 2020. They included the jingle on their website, yet the commercial is still yet to resurface. Walts Warning. Walts Warning is a lost 2009 interactive flash game that had been developed to promote the second season of Breaking Bad. Footage from the game has been found, and the link for the game is saved on the Wayback Machine. However, the SWF file that was discovered did not contain the full game. So in this flash game, players would be able to submit their own photos and names, and the game would then create customized videos where Walter White would give them a warning based on what was submitted. The game would begin the player in the desert, running and quickly getting captured by Walter White. The player would get knocked out and wake up in their RV. Walter interrogates the player, and the player can now use their mouse to look around the RV, with the chemistry set being on Walter's left and a gun to his right. If the player looks on either side for a long period of time, they will eventually get knocked out depending on what they were looking at. Looking too long at the chemistry set results to being tortured with chemicals, and looking too long at the gun results in getting hit repeatedly with it. After passing out, the player awakens back in the desert, with a message of warning directly addressing them. The game then encourages the player to fill out a form that includes their friends' information, so they could perhaps play the game. The game, due to the discontinuation of Adobe Flash, had been shut down December 2020. This cool and interesting flash game remains lost. Pikachu Screamer. So this appears to be a fully lost Screamer prank application in the .exe format that was created in the late 90s or early 2000s. The only surviving proof that this Pikachu Screamer has actually existed is through a mention of it coming from an old official website of a Korean antivirus program company in 2004 and a repost. In a Reddit post which discusses the disappearance of this prank Screamer application, there is text at the bottom which describes in detail what this Pikachu Screamer actually was and remembered to be. I've seen articles about the Screamer. As far as I remember, the background was a map of the area in the Pokemon game, and Pikachu did not appear despite the name Pikachu when the user clicked on the Pokemon that appeared on the screen, remembered as Jigglypuff. The background was darkened, and when the user clicked it again, a ghost image named Hong Kong Grandmother Ghost, a ghost from a Korean myth, appears all over the computer screen. This prank screamer program has since remained lost. It hasn't resurfaced. Putnam Prairie Emporium. This was a half-hour Canadian children's TV series which had been developed and produced by Bruce Edwards. The show originally premiered in Canada on CTV for 2 seasons from 1988 to 1990, with 52 episodes being created, but it also aired in the United States on syndication. The plot follows the characters of Alan and grandchildren Katie and Mark, who have just moved into a long-standing general store run by eccentric owner Mr. Putnam. Other characters of the show include Ivan, who was a scientist that created a time closet in the confines of the store. Caldecott C. Cat is a saxophone-playing cat who lived in a basket on the store's counter. There is as well the character Benjamin, who is a talking beefalo head that hangs on the wall behind the counter. During the 1990s, the master tapes had been wiped by CKCK-TV. 7 episodes and a couple minutes from one other were known to survive. John Wilson had voiced the character Caldecott C. Cat, and John Wilson's daughter has made claims they have all 52 episodes on tape. The Spooks of Bottle Bay. This was a British children's television series which aired from 1993 to 1995 on ITV's CITV block. The show was created by Ian Allen and directed by Paul Cole. Spooks for Bottle Bay had run for 3 series, with a total of 39 episodes being created. The show involves the adventures of a man who goes by Sydney Sludge. Sludge lives in the town of Bottle Bay, and in every episode puts a stop to the evil plans and shenanigans of his siblings Sybil and Cedric, who was unknowingly aided in his effort by the local ghosts that haunt a nearby mansion. The Spooks of Bottle Bay had been released onto VHS 3 times during its original run, however never had any DVD release. The show also never got a rerun. A YouTube channel by the name of Spooks of Bottle Bay has gone on to upload many episodes from the VHS to the channel. The YouTube channel has recovered 6 episodes from Season 1 and 8 episodes from Season 2, so it seems 25 episodes of this show are still yet to be uncovered. The Cartoon Works. The Cartoon Works was a flash game available on the CBBC website between the years of 2008 and 2011. It had been developed by Complete Control and had the intention of creating an immersive experience that would allow players to interact with characters from their favorite TV show. The flash game had been set in the eponymous Cartoon Works, with players starting up in the game as a trainee, having a goal of earning points. After collecting enough points, players would be able to rank up and earn a new job title. The game's main goal was to earn enough points so that you become the boss of the factory. Players in this flash game could also access a variety of different minigames, with each minigame being based on an aspect of producing a cartoon. The flash game would eventually be shut down during the end of 2011 and has since been unavailable. Although there exist archives via the Wayback Machine of the CBBC website from when the flash game was up and running, the game itself is completely inaccessible. My Bedbugs. This was a children's program which had aired from March 1st, 2004 to March 11th, 2005 on different PBS stations. For many years the show was obscure and rare. No episodes of the show could be found online. The only things which could be found were 2 small clips on YouTube as well as a few screenshots of characters. Sometime in September 2021, it was learned KQDK and KWHS had been putting the show on air in recent years, and after January 1st, 2022, it was taken off the schedule and was replaced by Kids Beach Club. Although many episodes have been found due to the re-airing of the show, a vast number of episodes still remain lost and only partially found. What's the matter with this picture? What's the matter with this picture was a Screamer video that had been uploaded to YouTube in 2017 by a user who goes by Para Revolution. The video consists of a clinic's waiting room, with the song Dream Fighter by the Japanese band Perfume playing in the background. The song is at a low volume, which would encourage viewers to turn up the volume. When the video reaches exactly 37 seconds, a skeleton boy with hair appears with a loud scream. The video then smashes to a black screen with white text that says check out for more videos on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my channel. The video would be later removed a year later on June 1st, 2018, and has since remained lost. Hate Hurts You. Hate Hurts You was a 30-second anti-hate PSA created by the Jewish Chautauqua Society, which had first aired around 1974. The ad was well known for its shocking and spooky nature, and involved an angry man getting closer and closer to the screen as his head turned red. The ad along with this contained eerie voiceover and music. The ad went on to terrify children, and 8 years later in 1982, a less scarier, shorter 10-second version of the PSA ad was aired instead.
When you hate, who do you hurt the most? Hate hurts you.
This cut-down version had different music which was less scary, a different, more chill voiceover which didn't yell unlike the full version, and also different things being said. The shortened version is able to be found online. However, the full, scarier 30-second version is still yet to resurface. 64 Zoo Lane Pilot. 64 Zoo Lane is an animated children's TV series that was created by An Bo. The show originally ran from 1999 to 2003, and later from 2010 to 2013. This show revolves around a girl named Lucy, who lives right next to a zoo with animals that tell her a story every night she visits them. During 1994, a pilot for the series had been developed. The pilot started development in 1993, and was finished a year later. However, it had taken 5 years to get the funding that was needed to make it into a whole series, and another 2 years for Zoolane Productions and Millie Images, a French production company, to develop the first season. As of today, all we have is a promotional image of this pilot. No other footage or material has come to light. The pilot is currently lost and unavailable. Meet the Moors. Meet the Moors were 60-second shorts that revolved around a British family. The short series aired on Nickelodeon's sister channel Nicktoons in the UK around 2003 in between episodes of Hey Arnold and Rugrats. This show is actually based on a real family. When Nicktoons had finally premiered in Britain July 2002, Nick had wanted to develop its first animated reality TV show based off a real-life British family. They held a contest called the Nicktoons Family, for families who would want to appear on the show. Eventually, sometime in 2003, the Moors had been announced the winners of the contest and got a show based on them. 10 shorts were produced, and had once been available to watch on the Nick UK website, but was later taken down. Only one episode of the show is available to watch, which had been uploaded to YouTube. The rest remain missing. Shaq Fu 2. Shaq Fu was a 2D fighting game that was published by EA for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo in 1994. A sequel for this game was planned to be developed by the now defunct Delphine Software International, and similarly to the first game would have been on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. There really isn't any information on this game at all. Its existence is only known due to a concept artist portfolio which contains concept art, in which he states that it was cancelled before being put into production. Bustin Loose. Bustin Loose was a sitcom that had aired on CBS for 2 seasons from January 17th to November 16th, 1977. The series wasn't a popular show, and because of this, many episodes have become lost media. The show follows a man named Lenny Markowitz. Lenny has just graduated engineering school, and has quietly moved out of his overprotective parents' home into an old apartment located in New York City. The show has fallen into obscurity and has become rare. Only 8 different episodes can be found online, all being from the first season. The whole second season has become missing and unavailable entirely. And when the show ended, 4 episodes were left unaired. Omega Ouija. Mugen is a freeware 2D fighting game engine that had been designed by Lekbyte. The content in Mugen is created by the community, and thousands of different fighters have been created. Omega Ouija is a character in this game that many people have been trying to find. The character has become lost. He was supposedly a very poorly made character and was apparently a sprite swap of the 2012 version of Omega Tiger Woods. There is only one video on the internet that showcases gameplay of Omega Ouija. This is the only proof that Omega Ouija had existed. Some users had asked the video's creator if they still had Omega Ouija, and they responded saying they don't have it anymore. It sadly seems like Omega Ouija will most likely be lost forever. Gan and Gone. This was a Japanese children's anime TV series. I believe the show aired from November 1st, 1972 to April 16th, 1973 on Akita TV, for a total of 260 episodes, each being around 5 minutes long. In this series, the characters Gan and Gone are on their worldwide search for treasure. For a long time, no full copies of Gan and Gone episodes had been known to exist. It was extremely rare. In 2014, a 16mm master copy had been found and bought on Yahoo Auctions Japan. During a Nico stream on December 24th, 2016, an episode titled Protect the Oasis was revealed. Later after that, 7 more episodes were discovered and uploaded by a user online. A huge majority of the series to this day remains as lost media. The Magic Adventures of Mumphy unaired pilot. The Magic Adventures of Mumphy is a British animated children's television series inspired by the works of Catherine Tozer. During the early 1990s, an animated or puppeteered pilot had been created by Britt Allcraft at Shepperton Studios. This was the basis for the later created popular Mumphy series. The only image available of the lost Mumphy pilot is this image here, which comes from the Mumphy Facebook page. From what is seen in the image, Mumphy originally wore a blue jacket with a yellow collar and 8 buttons. The scarecrow as well contained ears. The art style as well looked pretty different, having a closer resemblance to the original Catherine Tozer books. Mundo Tunics. Mundo Tunics was a multiplayer game created by Cartoon Network that was exclusive for Latin American countries. It had contained gameplay that was similar to games like Club Penguin and was released 2012. It also had a mobile version available. In this game, players could create their own unique tunics. In-game you would enter different servers, and once entering a server would be teleported to the Tunics map, known as Tunics Island, which had 10 areas players could go to. The game had eventually shut down June 30th, 2020, and has since become lost. The only proof of the game's existence consists of some gameplay footage which is available on YouTube, a few spin-offs on the Cartoon Network website, and as well an archive of its website. Eddie Retract Ahead. Eddie Retract Ahead was an animated short series which had aired on Nickelodeon UK back in 2008. It was produced by Cosgrove Halls, who was known for the creation of Count Duckula. This short series is about a blob of mucus who is named Eddie, who had fallen from space onto a pie and a tractor who lives in the inflatable pie at Area 52, with his friend Blam Blob who is an orange blob. They travel and go on misadventures while meeting other strange different characters along the way. 10 different shorts had been produced, with them all being around a minute in duration. The majority of this series has been found. The shorts trailer, Space Day Out, and Explodiatus were available for over a decade. The series editors Tracy Cleland went on to upload the shorts House and Speed Camera onto a Resume and Vimeo account in 2019. And in 2022, Lucas's archives on YouTube uploaded the short Olympics. 4 episodes to this day, however, still remain lost. Minecraft knockoff featuring Disturbing Entity. There are many ripoffs and clones of Minecraft on all different types of systems. I myself have played a lot of knockoff Minecraft games, and I'm sure all of you watching this have too. On the Lost Media Wiki forums, a pretty strange post has been made related to a Minecraft knockoff. A user who goes by Aiden Prenovost had come from a Discord server that specializes in finding obscure pieces of media. He went on to state that someone from this Discord server was on the search for a Minecraft knockoff which had featured some mysterious disturbing entity. I remember a knockoff Minecraft, possibly mobile, possibly Flash, that could have been made somewhere around 2014 to 2015. I tried to get some wood and try to kill some of the daytime mobs, but then God of Blank arrived. After me was standing on its own 2 feet with a brown tint, possibly claws. Yeah, very strange and definitely the most obscure thing that's lost in this video. I thought this was interesting enough to put in this list, and maybe someone watching this has some knowledge on what this Minecraft knockoff actually was. Nickelodeon Hyperscan. The Hyperscan is a home video game console which had been created by the toy company Mattel. The system made use of an RFID scanner which was able to scan cards used by the player. It wasn't a very good console and had flopped. 2 Nickelodeon games were reported to be released for the Hyperscan, however would eventually be scrapped and cancelled due to the low console sales figures near the end of the Hyperscan's short retail lifespan. These 2 games are Avatar: The Last Airbender and Nick Extreme Sports. Avatar: The Last Airbender is said to have been fully completed. Artwork for the game box and card booster packs had been already released prior to the cancellation. Rumors and theories have flown around that full copies of this game were printed and distributed. However, this can't be proven as no screenshots or gameplay footage has ever come to surface. Nick Extreme Sports was the final game that was announced for the Hyperscan. The only proof that this game had actually ever existed is through an image that was released of the official box art, which involves SpongeBob SquarePants surfing. Cartoon Network responds. From 1997 to 1998, Cartoon Network had gone on to produce a range of different interstitials, all following a specific theme. One of these series was known as Cartoon Network Responds, and would feature emails and letters from Cartoon Network fans. The letters in these interstitials would be responded to in a mean, mocking way, and would occasionally make fun of cartoons themselves. A wide range of these interstitials were created and produced. 20 interstitials are said to have been made, and 13 of these have been found and uploaded. There are still, however, 7 of these missing, 3 of which contain no information on what they consist of. Tronji. This is a CGI animated TV series which was made for children. It was produced by Ragdoll Productions and aired on CBBC from May 11th, 2009 to October 15th, 2010. The show takes place in the CGI animated universe of Tronji World, which had been struck by a natural disaster known simply as Wobble, which caused destruction to Tronji World by draining away its color and happiness. In each episode, the Great Eek summon 3 children from People World, which is the Tronji name for Earth, who help in reaching the saddest part of the broken pieces of Tronji and repair the damage done using their special skills. Whilst the Great Eek and Tronji O use gem power to fix the situation and therefore use double happiness to return the broken pieces back together. 30 episodes of the show had been created, and BBC listed all of the episodes on their website. Out of the 30 episodes that were developed, only 14 have been found while the rest remain lost. Disney Channel Interactive. Disney Channel Interactive was a service offered by Dish Network that began in 2007. Viewers with the proper cable box using their remote could access the interactive service by heading to Channel 100, and once there was able to play different minigames produced by VisiWare related to Disney Channel shows. Disney Channel Interactive would later be shut down. However, it's unknown to when exactly the service had been discontinued. All of the minigames on this service have remained lost ever since. In 2022, a user had contacted Dish to confirm if they still had contained any of the files. They had responded, and stated they had wiped it from their archives, so it is very unlikely that the games on the service will ever be recovered. A user was able to get into contact with a former VisiWare employee, who would provide a list of every single game that had been available on the service. Every single game on this list is lost. The only game which is partially found on this list is The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody Tipton Token Face Off. A low quality gameplay video on YouTube showcases this game, and this is the only surviving footage of the game channel. SpongeBob SquarePants Ain't Life a Beach. Ain't Life a Beach is a press kit from 1999 and is as well the earliest piece of SpongeBob SquarePants merchandise ever made. The press kit had been given to television industry employees in 1999 to coincide with the then up-and-coming premiere of the series. This press kit is one of the rarest SpongeBob collectibles to ever exist, as the press kit was created before the show had premiered. This kit includes early bios for the characters and as well includes photo slides, stickers, and synopses for different Season 1 episodes. Most of the information we have about the rare kit has come from a single eBay listing, which shows the partial text of 3 pages. Aside from what can be seen in the images, the content of the individual pages and what it contains is lost and unknown. Pigs vs. Wolves. So this was a Plants vs. Zombies ripoff that was available to play through the App Store on iPhones and iPods. It was developed by iPhone Game and was released February 2010. It's not known when exactly this game was taken off the App Store. I can't really find a specific date, but yeah, this game is now unavailable and lost. Pigs vs. Wolves is what it sounds like. You play the role of pigs and must defend yourselves from the oncoming wolves. It was a tower defense game that copied Plants vs. Zombies in pretty much every aspect. I used to play this game a lot as a kid. It was actually a really decent Plants vs. Zombies clone, and I really hope one day that this game becomes available again. All we have now is just a few pieces of gameplay footage on YouTube. The Hopkins. The Hopkins, which is also referred to as the Nicktoon family, is a series of 5 small 1-minute long animated shorts that had been produced by Studio Moshi. The show aired on Nickelodeon in Australia beginning late 2005, and this show as of today is completely lost. No footage of it has resurfaced at all. From March to June 2005, a competition had been held which was called the Search for the Nicktoon Family, with the grand prize of this competition being animated into a Nicktoon. Nickelodeon had been searching for a family to animate that was quote representative of modern Australia, and reflective in a positive sense of what families are all about. Out of the 5,000 entries, the Hopkins family from Ferntree Gully, Victoria had won, and would have the characters in the show modelled after them. The show premiered on December 16th, 2005 on the Savo programming block. Like I said before, no images or videos from the Hopkins shorts have been found, completely missing entirely, which is crazy. Ghosts and Goblins 64. Ghosts and Goblins is a platform video game which had been developed by Capcom and released for arcades in 1985. A Ghosts and Goblins game for Nintendo 64 had been in development by Capcom before being cancelled. In November of 1996, Capcom had invited the press to check out their upcoming line of games that would be released for the next year, and a part of these games was Ghosts and Goblins 64. Next Generation magazine's editor-at-large, Neil West, was present at the event. The game, according to him, was early in development, and said, quote, "It was clear that Super Mario 64 was a big source of inspiration. The game would later be quietly cancelled by the publisher. No information regarding Ghosts and Goblins 64 has come to surface, and no ROM or any type of gameplay footage has been seen." Beware the Dog. This was an American sitcom TV series from 2002 that was produced by Animal Planet and directed by Richard Martin. The show revolved around a bearded collie dog named Jack, who watched the daily lives of his new human family. The series had premiered its first and last episodes on August 13th, 2002. It had gotten many negative reviews from critics, and the show would never air again, leaving only 2 of the 7 planned episodes aired. Even the first 2 episodes that did end up airing are also considered lost. There's a very low chance we will see these unaired episodes surface, as the show wasn't very popular at all. SpongeBob SquarePants and the Nicktoons Gravjet Racing. This was a cancelled racing game that was set for a 2009 release, and would have included different characters from SpongeBob SquarePants, Barnyard, Ren and Stimpy, My Life as a Teenage Robot, The Mighty Bee, Fanboy and Chum Chum, and as well possibly more. before the game had been cancelled. The ESRB rated the game, giving it an E rating, and as well revealed that it was intended to release for the Xbox 360 and PC. However, it is still unknown who the publishers or the developers of this game were. Its gameplay would have been similar to F-Zero and Mario Kart. It would be fast-paced and would include a feature for battling with weapons, along with panels on the track which when a character drives over them, the kart would have slowed down or spin out. This racing game never left the beta stage, and had been unfortunately cancelled due to financial difficulties. No build of the game has been seen anywhere on the internet, and only screenshots have resurfaced.